Hey, I'm David Turner, and I'm here in Whistler. For those of you that have never been here, you're missing out. Highly recommend it. It's got to be a must vacation spot. All right, so we're here really to let everybody that knows about this to come by and ride the DHR. Obviously, it's been in development for a long time, but the end result is really worth it. Everybody that's been riding these things is blown away. Not just impressed, not just, wow, this is pretty cool, but wow, this thing is fast. Bottom bracket is just under 13.5 inches with 2.5s on it. Fork set at standard heights. Head angle is just over 63 degrees. Rips around the berms on A-line. It's unbelievable. People are amazed, and that's really great for me because obviously we've been sweating this thing a long time. So it's good to hear real riders on a real mountain, not just you know, internet pontificators flapping their keyboards at work. One of the things that's been a concern to many people that are looking at our specs that we posted some months back on the new DHR is bottom bracket height. It seems pretty low at 13.4 for a downhill bike with 8.5 inches of travel. Well, looking at the ends of the cranks on all of our demo bikes here, we're not seeing very much abuse at all. Nobody's complaining about hitting. And that is directly related to the anti-squat of the DW Link. Basically, going to the DW Link like we did on all of our bikes, starting with the cross-country stuff a couple of years ago, we're learning that the anti-squat isn't just neat for going uphill. It can be applied going downhill or on the flats. When you're ripping through the woods, trying to squeeze in an extra pedal stroke here and there, the bike is stable. You get in a stroke, but with a low BB, you're able to really rip the corners. And we keep hearing that over and over and over and over again. The head angle, I know it sounds pretty steep for some of you guys. Don't be scared now because, again, the anti-squat personality of this bike with the DW Link keeps the head angle dynamically less slack than another bike with the same head angle but without DW Link. So that makes a big difference. It's not all about, you know, going millimeter by millimeter or inch by inch wherever you are in the world and what you think it's going to ride like. It's a total package from head angle to chainstailing, bottom bracket height. Obviously, we've had, you know, many people over the last season especially had a lot of the highest level testing World Cup in Europe with Lars Pyre. Here in North America, of course, Tyler Moreland ripping it up, giving his feedback. Oh, he's very neutral and open-minded. Great test rider for us. A lot of machine work going on there, so I don't want to hear any bitching about the price. This was made in the United States on CNC machines. You see all that work? That's a pretty fair price. When you start looking at some of the other bikes on the market, we're looking at bikes that are within a couple $100 retail. That seems like a pretty good deal. This isn't a pre-forged and follow-up machine. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but this is a billet part that was machined out. The cost on these bikes is about $3,200 depending on whether you get it raw, black anodized with laser etching, or we are going to do a green paint with black graphic kit. Pivots are something kind of unique. They have our grease fittings. Same thing we've been doing on bikes forever and ever is some sort of a grease fitting. This is a little more sophisticated system. The black caps are inspection caps. You just take a cassette lock ring tool, unscrew it. You can almost do it by hand. They have a rubber seal. Check the bolts underneath. Look at the condition of the bearings. Make sure that there's no water in there. The seal in between the large billet parts and the linkage. The derailleur hanger, like we've been doing with the DHR the last few years, is also threaded for the axle. So if you were to tear something up, there are no threads in the frame. You dispose of the damaged stuff at a reasonable price. You put it back together. You don't have to get a new rear end. You don't have to helicoil, tap, try to fix stuff like that. This year we have 4 sizes. Downhill bikes for the last few years have gotten more compact, smaller with the slacker angles. We started seeing a big drop in frame size. Well, that left a lot of tall guys for those companies only doing 3 sizes, which, yes, I was one of them, and the big dudes were kind of left out. Well, this year we're bringing back a bike for a big guy, but it's a 4th size for us, so it truly is big. It's got a pretty long top tube. Wheelbase is, I think, right around 48 inches. This is for guys that are like 6'3" to 6'6". So for a good percentage of people downhilling that we're seeing here, you know, we got guys that are 6'3", 6'5" here in the last few days that are, you know, 225 to 260 pounds. And none of them are complaining about flex. They're getting off the bike. This is all boxed in here. We have a hollow lower yoke here connecting the lower pivot to the tapered chainstays, and then we weld a cap on the bottom so it's boxed in, so we get a great amount of rigidity without extra weight. So big guys are really digging it. On the prototypes, the tire was way too close to the linkage. Now there's a ½ an inch basically all the way around the 2.5. But based on a 2.5 Maxxis, Kendon Evigal, Durkaiser, Continental, those the 3 tires that I looked at, those will fit. These are pretty short head tubes. I'm going to try to get this in the picture. Of course, this is a small, tiny little head tubes, but they're short, not the same length on all 4 sizes. Each frame size gets its own head tube length, but they're very short all across the line. And although shocking at first to some, pulling them out of the box, etc., I assure you that you're going to dig it. I think that the rider today that's in tune with what's happening with modern skills, modern styles, the grip of modern tires, etc., wants that hand position to go down some, get the weight over the front of the bike and really drive her to make that thing stick. Well, I think I've pretty much covered it. You know, there's a lot written on the internet. Most of it's in chat rooms and forums is bullshit. For those of you that haven't been here and ridden it, it's too bad, because the people that are riding it are blown away. The other thing that's really impressive is Whistler. If you haven't been here, you got to come. It is a blast. This is my 2nd time, and I'm definitely coming back next year. Thanks for checking out Sick Lines.